right, guys, I am back. I have a special guest in the studio. She is the owner. Actually, she's a representative of the State Farm Agency. Tina, am I saying that right? I said it right. I'm good. I'm like, I want to make sure I said it. Miss Tina Carter, can you tell the people who you are?
Yeah, I'm Tina Carter. I'm a State Farm agent here in Montgomery. I've been an agent for almost 14 years.
Oh wow. Okay.
So, yeah, I love what I do, and yeah.
What made you decide to tap into the State Farm world? Have you always sold insurance?
No, I didn't. To be honest with you, I never wanted to sell insurance.
Oh wow.
I never. I was in banking for a lot of years.
Okay.
And I had, I would go out and call on people. Like that was my job as a financial specialist, to go out and bring business into the office.
Okay.
And I had my licenses, so I was already licensed to do like life and health and
Okay.
my Series 663 license that I could sell financial services.
Okay.
And I was approached by several companies to
Right.
be a part of their insurance company. And my husband would say, "Why don't you look into it?" And I said, "Well, no, that's not what I want to do. I don't want to sell insurance because I like banking."
Okay.
So fast forward, I would go out and call on people, and I called on the State Farm agent.
Okay.
And I would try to get his business, and he would say, "No."
She said, "Bring it back up, son."
And he would say, "I'm sorry." And he said, "No, it's something that I do for myself, so I really don't need it." And I thought it was just telling me something. So, of course, I would go back out there and I would ask again. And, I still don't want to do it. But make a long story short, life happened for me.
Okay.
My husband passed away unexpectedly.
Mm.
And it left me I was left as a single parent. I wasn't from the area, so I didn't have a village that I could just, really count on at the
Right.
time. And the same State Farm agent that I called on,
Mm-hmm.
came to me and he said, "Tina," he said, "Have you ever thought about being a State Farm agent?"
Mm.
And I said, "No, because I've never wanted to sell insurance."
Right.
And he said, "I think you should look into it, because as a single parent, now you're going to have time. You will have the freedom to do the things that you want to do because you own, it's something you will own." And I, told him, he said, "Can I have a recruiter to call you?" And I said, "Sure,
Yeah.
that'll work." And I went home that night and I prayed and I said, "God, real simple." I said, "If this is for me, open the door and let me walk into it.
Oh no.
And if it's not, close it. And either way, I'm okay."
Simple prayer.
Simple, very simple prayer.
Mm.
And so the next day, the recruiter called me.
Mm.
And from there, it was I would just walk through it.
Wow.
And so I felt like that was for me.
Definitely. 14 years later.
14 years later.
Wow. So you like working with money. You love meeting new people. And so how has it been being your own agency, especially as an African American female? How has this been?
It's been good,
Mm-hmm.
but it's been challenging.
Right.
Starting an agency, starting any type of business, there's a lot going to it.
Right.
So, there's lots of challenges, a lot of hard work, there's a lot of dedication to it. But I love what I do.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed helping people.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I did at the bank.
Right.
I helped people. And I think that after my husband passed away, the insurance thing really became important to me because I didn't have anyone. I didn't have an agent because we were young. I didn't have an agent to come and say, "How much life insurance do you need?
Right.
What are we covering? How can I help you?"
Mm-hmm.
Because we're young, people don't think about that. They don't
That's
ask us. As young people, we didn't think about it. We had what we had on our jobs, and that was it.
Okay.
And so after he passed away, I'm like, I need to be the person. So when we started talking about the State Farm thing, it was like, you know what? I want to educate people. I want to be the one to tell people, hey, you have it on your job, but what else do we need to put in place?
Right.
And so, that was my motivation, and I'm happy that I'm in a position where I can help people now.
So what all, I'm not really familiar totally with State Farm. So can you tell us what all the services do you guys offer for people?
Oh, yeah, State Farm offers so much. Like,
Okay,
people think that we're just a auto and homeowner insurance company, but we do
because
so
that's
much
what I
more.
thought.
Yeah, most people do.
Mm-hmm.
But we do life insurance. I do retirement planning.
Mm.
We can do disability insurance.
Okay.
We do loans. We do credit cards. We do,
What?
yeah, CDs, annuities, anything you want,
Mm-hmm.
bonds. Like, we pretty much do it. And so State Farm has a whole array of products
Mm-hmm.
that can, take care of anybody's needs.
Mm. This is awesome. So was there ever a time when you wanted to give up? Not just in State Farm. No, not State Farm. In
Okay.
life. Let's talk about life.
Yeah.
I know, waking up every morning and getting up and being that entrepreneur. This is what is this entrepreneurship. Were there times even prior to State Farm? Has there ever been a time when you want to say, you know what, I'm done? Can you talk about that tonight?
I can. I mean, for myself, I've there's been plenty of times I felt like giving up. You know, I mean, thinking about going through college. Like, sometimes I didn't have. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. So
Right.
when I went to college, I worked full time, and I took full time
Classes.
yeah,
Mhm.
hours, and so it was tough. When everybody else got to go out and enjoy themselves, I was in the room studying or at work. And there was times then where I was like, you know what? I'm just tired. Let me take a break.
Right.
But I couldn't. Something in me would not allow me to do that.
Mm.
And I think about just throughout life, not just that, but even as a State Farm agent, I know you said don't talk about it. I mean, it's not about State Farm, but I have to say, just a few years ago, I was in that position again. I was like, I'm tired. Like, it's not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just find something else to do where I don't have to deal with the stress of managing people, taking care of everything in the business, payroll, the rent, everything that comes along with it. So I was there. I was in that place not long ago, but God,
But God.
Yeah.
Wow. Excuse me. What would you tell your younger self?
I would tell my younger self that it is okay to take risks.
Mm.
Like, when I think about myself, like the things that, like some of the things I'm doing now,
Right.
there are things I wanted to do years ago. It was in me, but I was afraid.
Mm.
Like, I didn't have enough money to do it, or I didn't think I was smart enough to do it, or I didn't have the skills to make it happen. But I look back at my life and was like, you know what? You should have done this 20 years ago.
That's right.
Because I feel like because I waited, not only did I waste time, but I also lost money.
Mm.
So
Wow.
it's okay to take risks. I mean, life, everything is not going to be perfect. You're going to fail. It's okay to fail.
Mm-hmm.
But just think about your failures as an opportunity to be greater at some point, because greater is normally right around the corner.
Always right around the corner. That is also some good advice. Now, most of the women that watch this show and men are business owners. What kind of nuggets can you leave us with as an entrepreneur? What kind of nuggets that even State Farm can offer entrepreneurs?
Well, I think as an entrepreneur, like, you have to have balance.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to be able to work hard, but play hard too. Because if not, you can get burned out, and it will put you in that position where I was a few years ago, just working. And because I think family is important, so you have to be able to balance both. And I also think that as an entrepreneur, like, you make sure that you have the right things in place.
Yes.
Like, a lot of times businesses fail because they're not protected the way it should be protected. You know, so um, make sure that the protection is there. Sit down and talk to people. For me, I have a group of people who hold me accountable.
That's everything.
You know,
I just talked about that this week. I think accountability
yes,
is definitely important, especially in the season that we're in. I'm gonna put myself on. As an entrepreneur, I think it's very important to have accountability. You know, if you want God to take your business to another level, you have to have the right people dining at your table. And I talk about it all the time. You got to have your cheerleaders. You got to have your people who going to say, no, you shouldn't be going there or doing that. You got to have a business coach. You got to have people who can tell you where you are and help you to get to higher heights. And I think a lot of us in business have to understand one person cannot do it all.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people in business, what they do is start business and they want their business coach to be their cheerleader, their accountability partner, their this and that. No. Even me as a business coach, like, I cannot be everything for you. But this is what I can do. And it's so important to constantly look at your table and really see who is supposed to be there, because time and season is everything.
Yes.
Yes, and people come when they sit at your table. You're not guaranteed they're going to be there for a lifetime. Some people come and go, and you got to be okay with releasing those who decide to walk away, and really ask God for permission to get into new relationships. I think, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because I totally agree with that, and sometimes I think that you have to let people go.
Ooh,
because
that's good.
Because sometimes people will come into your life and they will drain you. They
Oh
will
my
pull
God.
everything out of you, from you. You know what I'm saying? But there's no,
Yes.
you never pour back into it. So why do we continue to allow people to empty us?
That's
Because
right.
we need some fulfilling too, right? We need to be filled.
But I think it's about what a person play in your life.
Yeah.
So if you know that person is in your life for business, then keep it business. Right. If you know that person is in your life for ministry, then keep it ministry. They might be coming into your life for business and ministry, then that's what it's for. Right. But I think a lot of us, even as women, we get so emotional and tangled, yes, that we don't realize that person is in my life is to serve that purpose only. Right. But we would want them to do 5 or 6 or 7 different things, and they're not capable of doing it. Right. So I think what's important is having conversations with people and meeting them where they are and say, you know what, this is where I need you to be at in my life. Right. And if they can't fulfill it, then you need to figure out why they're there. Right. And have a serious conversation. Because we be putting people up there. We put them high. We do. And when they fall, or when they help us to fall, we like, man, I should have, but you brought me here. Right. You said I was a part of your world. Right. That's true. That's so. You have to know it. You have to know where to place people. Mm-hmm. I agree with that. And even with me, as a business coach, I have a lot of mentees, and I had, even as a person who poured out a lot, I had to find a tribe of people that was separate from my mentees that can pour back into me, so I can be everything they need me to be. Even as spiritual daughters, even as a pastor, we have to make sure that we have the right people down at our table so we can do all things that he needs us to do. I agree. But Dr. Nikki, but just think about it. I mean, you have some people that will drain you. You know what I'm saying? Like, they will. And I'm not being funny. Like, I love people. I'm the one that will talk with you, and you can call me up and we can talk about things, but at some point, you have to be strong enough to do some things on your own. And I love what you said. This is really good. You said we have to let people go. Mm-hmm. And I think as Christians, we get so caught up in, I'm a Christian, we have to be careful. And we do have to be careful. But when the time is up, the time is up. And we have to have that serious conversation with that person. I'm not in the season of blocking or in a season of, you know what I'm saying? I'm in a season now. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna go and take it down. The relationship is over. I'm gonna unfriend you and I'm gonna walk away. I'm that person. Like I and some people say, okay, that's kind of bold. But at least you know where we stand.
Right.
You're not trying to figure me out. Because I'm a pretty much, anybody who know me personally, Tyra, I am an open book.
Yeah.
So if you see me not communicate with you, if you see me unfriend you, it's because it's time for us to have these big girl conversations and release ourselves from the unnecessary weight and headaches. So I know how to let people go.
Yeah.
But I wasn't always like this. Because I was the person who tried to hold on. And by the time it's time to let go, it went turmoil. So now we have to learn, and this is really good that you said this. We have to learn how to let go of people more healthier.
Right.
Yeah.
And love them from a distance.
Right.
I can love you. I just don't have to let you continue to dump everything on me.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
So.
Wow. So what do you do to have a good time, or what are your fun things that you do? What makes you smile?
I love it's crazy, but I really do love family. You know, well, I guess that's not crazy, but I love doing things with my family.
Okay.
You know, I mean, we get together, we have, family nights.
Okay.
My sisters or
yeah, I met her. She's amazing.
Yeah, I love her. So she has 2 kids, and so
Okay.
I get to, be on auntie duty a lot. I love traveling. I love arts, but music.
Okay.
Comedy. I love things like that. So if there's a music concert or a comedy show, I'm
You there?
totally there.
So my question: where have you traveled recently?
I went to last year. I went to the Bahamas.
How was that?
Amazing.
Yes.
That was a big birthday for me, so I went there.
Oh wow.
We had a really good time.
Okay.
A girls trip, really good time.
I gotta join one of these trips now. I just posted on Facebook. Get your passport ready.
All right.
So I love a stamp now. I want to stamp everything. So in fact, my husband, we just went to the Bahamas a couple months ago, but it rained the whole time, so we didn't get a chance to. We actually went on a cruise, but it rained the whole time, so we didn't get a chance to get off the cruise to go inside of Bahamas. So I kind of went around it.
Amazing.
So what did you do when you was there?
Oh my gosh, we did so many things. We jet skiing.
Okay.
Jet skiing.
So you do all that? Okay, so you're not afraid of all that?
No.
Okay.
No. We did the ATV riding.
I know that was fun.
That was really fun. We went to the Atlantis and did the whole water park.
And it is so beautiful there.
Beautiful.
Did you get a chance to take a picture in the big chair?
I did not.
Oh my God. They got this gigantic chair. And you have to get up there. And I mean, every time I go, I try to take a picture in that. It's beautiful. It's in the middle of the Atlantis. When you walk in the door, it's like this big gold brass chair. You got to, when you go, yes, I'm going to see a picture of it. You're like, I seen that. Yeah, it's like a thing that you do. You just go in there and you sit on the chair and you just take a picture. It's really big. It's a big, big chair. And it's beautiful. It's just a lot of brass. It's a very nice hotel. Well, hotel. But yeah, I love the Bahamas too. I really enjoy myself when I go there.
Yeah, I really enjoy myself. So we didn't stay at the Atlantis. We actually stayed at an Airbnb, and we had like a private chef. That was amazing.
Okay.
Like he came over every day.
So you like food?
I love food.
Okay.
Love food.
Okay. This is good. You're a foodie. So do you ever do reviews? No. You just eat food.
I just eat it. And I love it.
Wow, I definitely want to make that. Now, my husband is joining her firm. Yes. I mean, he is so excited. Let's give it up for Bishop. He's joining State Farm. I'm
excited too.
He is excited. Every time I say, okay, you ready? He have this big smile on his face. He's like, baby, we gonna do it.
Yeah.
I said, but listen, I'm on the team too, so even though I'm not working there, y'all know I'm gonna push State Farm every chance I get because my man is up there. So
You have to push it. You have to say, go see Tina Carter, because it makes a difference when you.
Oh no, I'm gonna make sure that. In fact, some people already know who you are already. We've been talking.
Oh, cool.
Yes, we've been talking, and of course I had to bring you on the show so my people can go ahead and know who you are, so we can switch everybody over with her, so we can make this thing work. We're here for it. That's why I really brought on the show to make that announcement, because I want people to understand what we're doing with her, so you guys can follow her Instagram, Facebook, whatever social media you have. I want them to follow you, and let's get some quotes in, because I know some of us need some State Farm. We switching over. Listen, we leaving everything going straight all State Farm. So we got to get Grace over there. We got to get all the members over there. So we coming.
Well,
so,
awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. And the one thing I can say is my office is different. I tell people all the time, I said, we do things differently. Like, we want to make sure that we have you adequately covered. And we want to make sure that we have the conversations needed to make sure we have the right things in place. And everybody's not like that. You go to some companies and they're like, just put you in something, just say I made a sale, but are you protected? So,
right. So integrity is definitely there.
Oh, of course.
That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, of course.
You got to have integrity. Especially when you're dealing with somebody's personal belongings.
You do.
You definitely have to have integrity, because that matters. That matters. Is there anything else you want to leave with us? Any information you want us to know? Any kind of things you want to talk about that you offer at State Farm? I want to get it in.
Well, I can tell you that I just said it, that I want to make sure that we're doing the right thing for people. If you want someone that's going to be honest, that's going to make sure you have the right coverage in place. If you want someone who's going to not just make you feel like you're a number, but make you feel like you're part of the family, then Tina Carter State Farm is where you should be. We pride ourselves on that. Mm-hmm. Ethical, honesty, and just the compassion. Mm-hmm. And it is important too. I'm gonna say this. It is important that you meet with your insurance agent.
That's right.
And you understand what you have, because so many people don't really understand what that coverage means. Mm. Just because you have full coverage don't mean that you have the right coverage.
Come on now.
Full coverage just says that you have, collision and comp. Mm-hmm. But what if you went out there today and you had a major accident and you killed someone, mm-hmm. or you hurt someone badly and they sued you? Are those limits that you have enough? So you don't sit down and talk to people so that they can understand what they're covering. Mm-hmm. It can cost you way more than what you're saving. People say, well, just give me the minimum, because they want the savings. But what if that $10 a month costs you, $100,000 later?
That's awesome. I never even thought. And that is so true. One of my good girlfriends, in fact, she's part of the network, Marlo. She said it's important to know who your banker is, and it's important to know who your insurance agency is. And I so believe in that. And now that my husband sells, he was selling insurance before I met him, but he talks all I hear is insurance around my house. That taught me a lot, because you have to build relationships.
We do.
I'm at a point, I know who my grocery store manager is. I'm everywhere I go, I'm intentional with my relationship, because you just never know who you would need to be, to help you be who you are going to become. So I think that's very important. So get to know. So if you don't have an insurance agency, come over here and let us go ahead and sign you up. You got to get to know your agency. That was really good. Now that's a really good nugget. That's a really good nugget. I think that's very important. Okay. Well, thank you for coming so much. We really appreciate it. You can come back anytime, honey. We're all things Tina Carter, Agency State Farm representative. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
And we'll be back, guys. We'll see y'all soon. Thank you. Hey, this is Dr. Nikki Ziegler. I am back. Listen, my membership director is here. Glenda D. Kelly in the building. I'm excited to have you. Thank you for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
Tell the people who you are.
My name is Glenda Kelly. I am, of course, the membership director of the Entrepreneur Network. I have a small business that is Be Excellent Business and Tax Solutions.
So let's talk about Be Excellence, because that's what it's all about.
Okay.
Tell us what you do with your business.
So my business has a plethora of things that I do. So my motto is Be Excellent Business and Tax Solutions, where we partner with small business, churches, nonprofits to be their executive administrative assistants. And we provide services from creative design to the bottom line. And so that bottom line, a lot of that is bookkeeping and tax services. So that is a bulk of the business that I do.
How long have you been in this business world?
I have been in this business world full time for 8 years.
Okay.
But part time, I've been in it probably over 30 years.
What made you decide to start full time in your business?
I retired.
You retired?
I'm a retired educator.
And you decide, you know what, I'm going to start my own business. I'm going to clock in when I want to clock in. How has this journey been with your own business?
Being in business for yourself full time is not for faint of heart.
Baby, listen. You said
it is not for the faint of heart.
It isn't.
It's been a journey. It's been a learning process, but it's been a good journey, and I'm learning every day and growing every day.
What would you say to your younger self?
What I would say to my younger self is be bold.
I like that.
Be bold and just step out and be bold. That's what I would say to my younger self.
This is awesome. And so the journey, how do you balance, coming from working a 9 to 5 to now working, your own hours? How do you balance it all?
So the balance of having been an educator and having had, I don't like to call it a side hustle. I always call it a side flow.
Okay.
So, hustle to me means you gotta work hard.
Yes.
Flow, you gotta flow into it. So I've always had something on the side, even when I was in education. So coming from it and balancing that, I've made the decision that it's full time, and I operate it like it's full time. So just being that balance of setting a schedule, setting a time, and having a dedicated space, because I work from home. So making sure that I have that dedicated space that's dedicated specifically for my business.
I think that is important. Let's stop right there, because a lot of people work from home, right? But they might use their dining room table, they might use their front room, living room, sofa, all that stuff. I think when you said set a designated area, put a stamp on where you're only going to work at. And that's one thing my husband does really good. We have our offices here, but when he's at home, he set his laptop up, and he has if I want to find him, if he said, hey, I'm doing business right now, I know exactly where to go, because he's constantly sitting at one spot. And a lot of us, the reason why we're not thriving in business, because we're everywhere. We're sitting on we're sitting on the sofa watching TV. We in our room with our laptop. We're everywhere. But if we designate an area, it shows the importance of knowing I'm teaching myself how to be stable, because everybody can't run a business. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. I struggled a long time. I probably had 100 businesses, Lord mercy. But we have to create that space.
You have to have that space, especially if you are a home-based business, having that specific place for the purposes of, even like I said, with taxes. So I have a dedicated space. I have that one room that's my dedicated space. That's Be Excellent Business and Tax Solutions.
Right.
So there's nothing else that's going in and out of there. That's the business.
Right.
And so because of those deductions that I can use for my taxes,
then
I can properly, I can properly have that for my taxes, because that's my dedicated space for my business.
Let's talk about that. What kind of deductions can you have for those who work from home?
So of course your space, having that dedicated space. So just like you said, your husband is at the dining room table. Well, you're using that dining room table for something else. So the tax law says that it must be used exclusively for your business.
Right.
So that's not a tax deduction.
Mhm.
But whereas I have this dedicated space of square footage within my home, that's a deduction that I can use. Of course, if I'm traveling, any equipment that I may have that I'm using for the business, training, it's just a plethora of things that you can deduct for your home-based business or your business in general.
And I think a lot of people need to know that, because a lot of people, they want to start the business. They might not can afford a spot like what I have, or even others, but they want to start a business, and they don't even know how to start. So what would be your advice to someone who say, Dr. Nikki, Dr. Glenda, I really want to start a business. Give us some tips on what they can do to get their business out the ground.
Well, first of all, I would, SBA is a great place to start.
Okay.
A lot of people, to just contact them. There are classes, there's opportunities to learn, and getting in that space of learning to build a foundation for your business. A lot of times people will go into business and they have no foundation, so they can't survive the storm. And most times when you're in business, it takes 5 to 7 years before you turn a profit. So because they're not knowing how to structure their business, setting the business in place, and moving forth with it, they won't survive. And so the business is closing down. So just getting that started, making sure that you have that great foundation of properly starting your business, whether you're a sole proprietor or LLC, however you're starting that, just making sure that those proper things are in place.
I have to ask this question because I get this question all the time, especially from my entrepreneurs. What is an S corp?
So an S corp, if you're making at least 6 figures profit, so you, if you're an LLC and then moving to that structure for the S corp, is basically for saving on your taxes.
Okay. Yeah. And so sole proprietor is a person who it's just a single person, correct?
It's just a single person.
Okay. And then your LLC is for those who, what is the point of an LLC or an incorporation? What's the difference?
So the LLC, so I hear a lot of people talking about LLC as far as the structure for taxes. LLC, for the benefit of taxes, is taxed the same as if you were a sole proprietor.
Okay.
It does save you on some places where your name is not attached to it, but that entity, the LLC, now becomes an entity. Such as if you have Dr. Nikki LLC, then Dr. Nikki LLC is an entity in itself. Nikki Ziegler is an entity. So that's 2 different entities. And so it gives you some protection from Nikki Ziegler and Nikki LLC. So there's that delineating line.
Wow. So when people go out and they get their LLC, do you think it wise to put family on their LLC, or it doesn't matter?
So when you used to put family on there,
you know how when you go in the file from Secretary of State, and they said, well, name 3 or 4 people on your paperwork for LLC. Do you recommend them to put family members, or just a typical question, or just do regular people?
So that's going to be up to you. You could put family on there, just depending on the relationship that you have with them. But are they members of the LLC? So now you're no longer a single member LLC. Now you're a dual member LLC.
What does that mean?
So the dual member LLC means that they have ownership. So if that's ownership, if you have 4 people on there, then depending on how you have set up the delineation to say you have 50%, I have 50%, or you have 60%, I have 40%. So there's a delineation. So if you're going to put them on there, they're now becoming a part of that LLC, which is now a dual member LLC instead of a single member LLC.
Wow. How many put in the chat? I didn't know that. I see y'all on here. I did not know that. If you didn't know that, put in the chat. I did not know that. I see y'all on here. I see you, Lady Harris. I see you on here. I see y'all giving us some hearts. I think this type of conversation is so needed for the Christian world. So say we're a church with Destiny, right? So do Bishop need an LLC for Destiny, or do he need a nonprofit for Destiny?
So he is a nonprofit.
Right.
The church is a nonprofit. So you do not need an LLC for the nonprofit, because you as a nonprofit, that's nonprofit. LLC is for profit. So unless he has an entity of part on there where He said, okay, this is going to be Bishop Jeremiah Ziegler LLC.
Mhm.
This is my business
Right,
partner.
so he can sell books and he can sell, T-shirts. So that's
everyone-
totally different than the church.
Yes.
Right. And I'm asking these questions because I get that, me being a business coach, I get that kind of questions all the time, but this is an expert that's up here, right? And I wanted her to answer these questions so we can make sure we know what we're doing. And we're not just doing it because it sounds good, but we're intentional with how we run our business, especially for the new year, because y'all know everybody tends to want to start a business in the new year.
Yes.
Resolutions. I want to start a business. Baby, listen, you got to make sure you know what you're doing because you'll do the wrong paperwork and end up the IRS is after you. So you got to make sure you get people like Glenda to come on your team and help you to really lay out the foundation of your brand so you can do it the right way. This ain't the season to mess up, right? This is a season where we have to be intentional with our business. If we want to start the business, do it the right way the first time. And how the hell are you for me? Honey, I probably did about 100 LLCs, didn't know what I was doing, putting everybody on there, don't supposed to be on there, just jacking it all up. And so it's important to make sure we have the right people, once again, dining at our table, because you can have the wrong people and they lead you right astray. So I think this is very important. What all other services do you offer? I know you said bookkeeping. So do you recommend people to keep receipts on everything that they do?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
I keep receipts.
Receipt collector.
There are so many apps that they can use as far as keeping up their receipts.
Can you give us a couple of them? Maybe one.
Oh, I drew a blank. I'm sorry.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you who do receipt collecting. The iPhone.
You could do it with the iPhone.
I got over 20,000 pictures. And when I went to check on my pictures, I scrolled down and it says receipts. I said, what is this? And I clicked the button, and it was over 100 receipts on my phone. And I'm like, how these receipts got here? I guess I was just taking pictures or whatever. But it's a lot of receipts on my phone. And I didn't even know that iPhone collects receipts. See how you learn something every day.
And one good word, because now, businesses are getting more tech savvy. They will actually, if you want your receipt in print, or if you want an email. So I would do a dedicated email to go, so my receipts can go directly to that email.
That's smart.
So,
because I'm always in fact, today we just shipped over 60 different bags and Christmas gifts out to some of the herpreneurs. And I had this receipt. I promise you, that receipt probably did long. But I always tell them to email me my receipt from the post office too. So in case Keela lose stuff, I'm able to go into my phone and Google and find out where my people package is at. So I think that's important. You said everything. So can you tell us what kind of things we need to hold on to? What kind of receipts? Which ones?
So of course, if you're purchasing supplies and products for your business, you said shipping costs. If you have travel expenses.
Okay. All these write-offs.
Those are write-off. You're depending on if you're using mileage, you're using extra mileage, or you're using your gas or whatever. Then so that will be determined with your CPA or your tax professional. Determine how you're going to determine whether you're going to use your actual mileage or you're going to use if your receipts for your mileage.
And I'll say this, I have a gas card that I use called Fuel Man.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend anyone that's in business go to Fuel Man and apply for a gas card. I use my gas card all the time with Fuel Man,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's a tax write-off, correct?
That's the right tax write-off.
Yes, there's a company that you can use for you can get a free printer. God, what is that company, Glenda? Not a free printer. You can do HP. HP's good. Sam put me on them. Where if I sign up, Renee, $19 a month, I get unlimited ink, and I get extra $10 a month. I get unlimited. I get packs of paper that ships every month to my house or to the office. And we just give y'all tips on to make especially for our small businesses to make your life better. It's another company I want to tell about where they give you a limit of $300 and you can do a net 60, and you don't have to pay the printer back into 60 days. I want to say it's called print something.com. I'm gonna put it in the chat tonight before I go to bed because I want you guys to pick up what I'm putting down. It's so many people that will give you chances after chances to get free things, not free things, but net 30, net 60 things, especially those who really want to start a business. And you might not have the capital to start the business. There is different resources that can give you stuff to help you to grow your business where you can build up and then you can always repay them back. How do you feel about the Dunn's number?
With the DUNS number, that's great to have for your business. As you're talking about credit, one of the things that dealing with credit, and because I see it so much on social media, is people that get an EIN number and you can do this, 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 and this with your business. If you don't have a good balance on your personal credit,
come on now,
do not mess up your business credit. That you need to get balance in your credit, in your personal credit, before trying to move forward to get business credit.
That's good. So she's saying, take care of your personal stuff before you out here trying to get this business.
Yes. Just because you have the EIN, and because, like I said, if you're a sole proprietor, you only get that one EIN as a sole proprietor. But in LLC, you can go back and get it. LLC, you can have more than one LLC. But as a sole proprietor, you get one shot at an EIN as a sole proprietor.
That's my first time ever hearing about that. How do they do that? Y'all know they do this? No. I know she about to know. Okay, yeah. This is good. I think, this kind of information is so needed for, this kind of conversation because we have so many people who pretty much watch my show are business owners. And so I think this information really is going to help a lot of people to really think differently about themselves. And so Angela House said, good advice. Thank you, Angela, for commenting. I think it's important to have people like Glenda on our show because she's able to give you a plethora of information that can make you think. I think even Renee was talking about doing a business, right? And so this is really helping Renee. She's in the audience, but this is helping her to really think about what it's going to look like for the future. Is there any other advice that you can give those who desire to start a business?
Well, like I said, just starting small. Get themselves a mentor, someone that can help mentor, and people who are in the same business as you want to go into. Sometimes people are willing to help you. They're willing to see you start and to grow, and they're looking for people to mentor. And so just reaching out and having those conversations and see if that is something that will work for you to start your business and start it on a solid foundation.
So you've been a part of the network, right? How has it been?
It has been one of the better moves that I've made. I get kind of teary-eyed when I think about that. And I've shared this on December 6th of last year. I was at the point of saying, okay, I'm throwing in the towel. Forget it. This is not even worth it. And just a divine message. We're waiting on you in the network. And to be honest, I wasn't coming. That's to be honest, I was doing a stall tactic. Give it to next year.
I think that's what you're saying, didn't you?
Give it to next year.
Okay.
And so that process of giving it to next year, as I was just contemplating, okay, if this is what I need to do, then you have to give me a sign. This is because I'm packing up. I'm leaving Alabama, and I'm gone. And
I didn't even know that.
That was my plan. I was packing up. I was getting ready to leave.
Where you was going?
I was going to Maryland. I'm going to Maryland.
And your godbaby's up there.
My godson, my brothers,
everybody up there.
The majority of my family is north of Atlanta. So,
oh my God.
So I'm packing up and I'm going to leave and just kind of get myself in some balance. And the network wasn't really, although I was a part of it in December, it really didn't start becoming active until in January.
Right.
So in January, the second day when I was in the weapon room, Dr. Goodman, as she was talking and as she was just expounding and talking, and then you spoke, I knew I was in the right place for the things that I was doing, for the as you know, I've done different events and stuff.
Yes, you have.
And so because of those events, um, it put a toll on me trying to do those business and trying to bring community together, because it was all about building community, about building businesses, about helping churches and developing them so that they can operate properly and in compliance. And it became very hard. But as I heard you speak and heard them speak, I knew it was in the right place.
Oh my God.
And being in that right place has brought me back to a place of trust. It's brought me back to a place to believe that what I was doing, that there's someone else that was doing the same thing, and that they had a heart for God. And that was the most important thing to me, is that your heart is genuine, it's real towards God, and that's the thing that has kept me. And so I think the working room was that thing that solidified and said, yeah, you're in the right place.
I think it's important to have, once again, that tribe of people spiritually more than anything
Yes.
to keep you balanced.
And that has been a balance.
Yeah.
Keep your balance.
Because, family's family. But having a spiritual balance set the tone for your legacy. I think, God always sent people in your life to hold you accountable. And I mean, even you have been really accountable for me. Like, just seeing your walk and seeing who you are and seeing how you pray and seeing you as a person has really warmed my heart, because you have such a genuine spirit about you. What you see is what you get. You know what I'm saying? And I love that, because I don't, you feel good when you can connect with people. You ain't got to figure them out. I got to figure her out. Who got that kind of time? I know I don't. So, it has been my prayer at the Herpreneur Network that God will send genuine people, real people that can, I don't have to try to decipher through the pain and the mask. I can just see who you are and love you where you are, because I know God has sent you in my life, and I think that's so important, And so even, the time we had in Atlanta was amazing, just to see you come out your element, because I can tell that you be like, I'm in this room, we'll stay in this room. And I told Shanice, I said, pull her out that room. Let's get her out. Because, hurt people, And so I want to make sure, even with the network, we're always trying to find ways to let people know exactly how much they mean. And tell me, however you mean to me, tell me. Like, I'm the kind of person, don't wait until I'm dead to cry with my casket. Tell me how you feel about me right now, so I can know how to deal with it. And you always have a way of affirming so many people in the network. And I'm so glad you're our membership director, because you have a passion for people. And I think, Glenda, I really think you get people. We're in the people business. I know you're in it. Even Tana, she's in the people business. We're in the people business. Our assignment is to help be a solution to someone's problem. And I know you're always doing it. You're always giving us nuggets. You're always praying for us. You're always going above and beyond to let us know that you are here. And we see it. We see it. You have your shyness now. Yeah. But I know your heart.
We live in as I was sharing with her in that great room, we live in a dark, dying, and very confused world. And the call on me is that I'm called to clarify confusion. And so whether that confusion is in the world of business or the world of education, I so love being an educator and being able to teach, because that brings clarity. And so a lot of times I may not say anything, or I'm sitting back. It's not that I'm being quiet, I'm observing. Because sometimes when you are attached to people, if I'm so close to Dr. Nikki Ziegler, I can't see the imperfections, but from a distance, if you have a spot on your clothes, you can't see it, but at a distance, I can see the spot and say, you got a spot in your clothes. It's up to you to receive that spot, because you didn't see it.
Come on now.
And I saw it.
That's good.
It's not trying to call you out.
Right.
But because I love you, and at a distance, I can say there's a spot.
But the thing about it, we got to be able to take criticism. And I think as women, because this is a women's talk show, we got to be able to have the people in our life that can tell us, you're wrong. You shouldn't say that. You shouldn't talk like that. You shouldn't be like that. If everybody around you is saying, yes, you're the problem, That means you have allowed all these people to be your yes. I don't need no cheerleading team. I need you to tell me when I'm wrong so I can fix it. But if we're not teachable, we can't do that. We got to make sure we stay teachable so God can continually mold us and grow us in the way that He should go.
That's correct.
Yes.
So your growth is not stunted.
I like that. I like it. Say that one more time.
So that your growth is not stunted.
Imagine how many women are not growing. And they have the potential to be everything. But because they set in their ways, or because they're so used to people telling them yes all the time, they're not stretching, they're not moving, they're just stagnated. And God can't move in a stagnated place. I'm just sorry. He ain't gonna move.
I'm gonna move.
We gotta stay teachable.
Yes.
What's your last word for the night?
I'm gonna go with you with it, just to stay teachable. Just
Okay.
making sure that you're staying teachable, that you're always inclining your ear to want to grow. Because you gotta want to grow.
That's
You
good.
gotta want to stay teachable. I am a teacher, and although I have a 7-year-old grandson, he's teaching me every day, and I'm learning from him. So even the very small people who that you think may not count,
Come on now.
they still can teach you something if you're willing to listen. And teaching always does not denote that I have to be talking. If you can be a good listener, I don't have to talk, and you still can be taught because I'm looking. You teach me something every day. I may not say anything, but you teach me something,
My God.
and I'm willing to learn that and say, because if I'm in a place of saying, God, shape me, make me, mold me, grow me, then I have to have somebody that I'm modeling after. So as an educator, you got to model what you want to learn, what needs to be taught. And so I have to be able to receive that.
That is so good. She said you can learn something being quiet. That's my takeaway. You can learn something being quiet.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Now you came here and dropped the mic down on that. That's that wisdom. Listen, catch us every morning at 5:30 Central in the weapon room. I don't see how you can start a business and not pray for your business in the morning time.
You gotta pray for your business.
I mean, you gotta pray. Not only you gotta pray, but what scripture backs up your business? Everything God gives you, He gives you scripture to back it up. What scripture do you have to back up what God has given you? That's the nugget I'll leave tonight. What does that look like for you? Come on, take us on. I'm excited. Thank you, Glenn, for stopping by. You can always welcome to come by. She was going to run from me. I said, Glenda, just come on and sit down at the table. We're going to just have a conversation. And you did it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Always, any time of the day. Thank you, guys. Listen, another show has been done. We're here at the Convo with Dr. Nikki Ziegler. Special guests have came through. Just list your takeaways as we end the show. What kind of takeaways can you get from Ms. Carter? What kind of takeaways can you get from Ms. Kelly? What's next for you? Don't forget to get your scripture. Don't forget we're in the weapon room every morning at 5:30 Central on Clubhouse. Follow me as I follow Christ. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Let me know what city that you're watching from. And you guys have a great day. See y'all next time. Bye, y'all.